Yeah, so guys, as you can see, I'm leaving the other side of the Nairobi West Hospital behind me. I'm going to where the houses are. In other words, where do people in Nairobi West live at? That is where I'm going to show you guys. And of course, you need to understand that, guys, as I mentioned, for the longest time, Nairobi West has been a middle income suburb of the city. That tells you that in this particular area, houses have been quite expensive. And that tells you this also has been an area which has mostly been accommodated by people who are middle class working in different parts of the city. And with that, you can insinuate that actually also the rental price for these particular houses in all these different areas have been quite expensive, because that tells you that most likely most of the houses in this particular area are those whereby people are staying in their own compound. And with that, it tells you that actually for most houses, the prices here have been ranging upwards of 20,000 per month. And by the way, even we have different phases, crescents, estates. Like for example, you can see this particular right side here, there's per crescent, okay? Which is an estate by itself, whereby people have their own individual housing units. You know, those houses whereby you have your own small compound and the house all to yourself. With such, we're talking about even rent in these particular areas being upwards of 40K each and every month. And of course, as I'm walking through, you're gonna see the different assortment or the different kind of houses. But of course, as I've already told you, you can even see this particular side here. We have all type of houses. But for the longest, Nairobi West has been having those houses which are individual housing units, okay? But recently, because of the demand of houses, we've also seen the crop up of different kinds of houses. For example, we began to see there are being apartments coming up in this particular area. You know, as you're gonna see, for example, right ahead of me here, you can see it's an apartment at the other extreme end where I'm going, because also there has been demand for apartments over time. But for the longest, it has been those individual housing units in gated communities have been what has been defining Nairobi West. But because of the increase in population, because of many more people coming into Nairobi West, then it has called for this particular area to also consider having apartments. That's why as I'm walking through, you're gonna even see people may be coming out of different apartments in this particular area. You can also see people here coming out of their own individual units, like for example the ones you're seeing behind me, the housing blocks, which for the longest have actually been defining what Nairobi West looks like. But of course, also as I've said, you can see this other end, you also see apartment buildings coming up. You know, this so because these have also been on the rise and actually necessitated by two things. First of all, space needed to construct these particular houses, and secondly, also they need to have a high number of people accommodated per square area. With that, nowadays we're talking about there are being coming up of different apartments, because actually there is also demand for that in this particular area. But for the longest, it has been individual housing units which have been in their own compound, more so in gated communities. Now I'm about to reach the very end point of this particular corner, which is off Nairobi West Hospital. I'm going to take a turn and we're going to see that particular point. We are seeing there being many apartments coming up in this particular area, right? And you can see behind me also there's a busy road, vehicles coming left, right, center, going to the gated communities and also the estates in this area. Yeah guys, so let me cross the road. Okay, let me cross the road to go to the other side for you to be able to see these awesome houses in this area. And you can see even behind me here, there's another house in a gated community in this particular area of Nairobi West. Of course, there's awesome roads here, access roads to these particular houses. And then I was telling you about also there being apartments. What you can see right behind me here is a very huge apartment in Nairobi West. And even it's telling you there is space to let. That tells you we are having a shift with regards to housing situation in Nairobi West. More so because with just little spaces remaining, then it's only feasible for those developers to be able to build the kind of houses which they are not building before. The story houses, apartments, which they aren't building before, because now we're talking about there being demand for this kind of houses. before they focus on those single housing units in estates, like the ones you can see behind me. Still you can see them there, guys. These are the model houses which have been in Nairobi West for the longest, okay? The ones you see behind me. And for such houses, I've told you, typically it costs somewhere between 30,000 to about 60,000 per month for you to be able to rent such houses. But in recent times, we're seeing there being come up of apartments, like the one you're seeing right behind me on the right side here. This is an apartment. And if you inquire about the housing cost here, you're going to be told, for example, a one bedroom is going to cost roughly 30,000 to 40,000, and then two bedroom is going to cost about 40K to even 60K each and every month. That is how the housing situation in this particular area looks like. But as I said, guys, this is a very decent neighborhood. You know, people having privacy. Talk about people having awesome houses where they're residing. And also, you can see there is construction going on. Like, for example, this access to this particular estate, there is a Cobro. You know, there is a Cobro access here, Cobro Road, which actually takes people to different housing units. You can see all the houses here in Nairobi West, guys. I think this house is beautiful. What do you think about this? This house is very beautiful, guys, okay? And for such own compound, most of this house we're talking about, maybe it being 5-6 bedrooms. Guys, this even can cost you upwards of 80,000 Kenya shillings per month. That's how insane it is. So that tells you in this particular area, houses have very, very varying prices, really depending on intended use and also what you're looking for. And also beyond that, it also depends on how far you are from amenities. Like, for example, I've shown you the other side of town. We had a school, okay? We had even hospitals, the other side, Nairobi West Hospital, and even other private hospitals. In case you go farther and far away from all these amenities, then the houses are going to become cheaper. But considering Nairobi West is a very small area, then it tells you that that variance is not that huge per se, because mostly all these are close to each other. The proximity is very close. So that tells you they are not really far apart when it comes to prices, okay? Look at that view, guys. This is a beautiful view of houses in Nairobi West. What do you think about these houses? Also look at the streets, guys. It's awesome because it's being kept clean even though construction is going on. What do you think about this? Right? Look at the houses, guys. The old house designs, the ones I was talking to you about. That is what defines Nairobi West for the largest chunk, okay? The old housing design in these areas. That is what defines Nairobi West. And also, one thing to note, guys, I don't know what it is, but maybe share in the comment section down below. Do you think maybe in recent times the construction of housing units out here have continued being weaker and weaker? And I'm asking that because we all seen these old houses have been here for the longest. You know, even some of the houses here, guys, have been here for even upwards of 60 years, 70 years, and they have been going strong, okay? Behind me, you can see there's a school here, right? There's an academy here where also our children can go to school and learn. In case you have children in these particular areas, they can learn on this particular academy. It's called Riverfront Academy. You know, it's a cool one, okay? Riverfront Academy. The question I'm asking you guys is, do you think maybe the design of houses in recent times are continuing to become weaker and weaker? And I'm asking that because we've all seen, for example, issues around houses coming down and so forth. But this old design of houses have been here for the longest. Let me pause because it's already passing. Let it go. I was saying, guys, this old design of houses, like the ones you're seeing behind me, have been here for the longest and have been just okay. You know, like these particular awesome houses behind me, even they have been here for many years. Does this mean, for example, the recent design of houses are becoming weaker and weaker? What do you think? If you're watching this video and you live, for example, in Nairobi West area, Madaraka area, South C area, South B area, share with me in the comment section down below. How is your housing looking like? Do you live in apartments? Or maybe do you live in single housing units? Comment down below. Look at that particular house, guys. The old housing designs which actually define this particular area of Nairobi West. Okay? We have the old designs, and even ahead of me, there is apartments being constructed. You can see, guys, apartments being constructed. I'm going to show you right ahead of me. But Nairobi West is defined by this old design of houses, which are cool houses, as you can see. But also, as I told you, we have apartments coming up left, right, center because of the increased need for housing in this particular area of Nairobi. You know, like these apartments behind me, and even so, the other side too, you can see other apartments, okay, being constructed. This tells you that housing demand is continuing to increase in this particular area. But remember, as I've told you, this area, the rental price normally ranges between around 30,000 Kenya shillings to even upwards of 60,000 Kenya shillings, depending on what you are looking for. 30K to even upwards of 60K, depending on what you're looking for. That is the housing price in this particular region of the city. And also another thing to appreciate is also in this particular area, water is mainly supplied by the Nairobi City Council, even though in recent times we are seeing those buildings coming up also considering to build their own borehole. But note that when it comes to construction, building your own borehole is going to cost you quite a huge chunk of money, because we're talking about even in the city, depending on the water table and where you're building, it's going to cost you upwards of even 1.5 million Kenya shillings just to drill for you to be able to access water. And that's why a good number of people building houses prefer to actually build houses and then get supply from the Nairobi City Council, because through that it is quite cheaper. It is the that particular house owner, the tenant, who's gonna bear the cost of water in those houses. What do you all think about this video? Do you think these houses look awesome? Or which one do you prefer? The one on the left side, the apartment, or the old design on the right side? Share with me in the comment section below. Let's continue engaging there, guys. Cheers, and look forward to share with you other awesome videos next time. Bye bye, and you all take care.